That was the wrong one.
Okay,
There
okay.
was one on the 24th fairly early. And it was, I think it was actually north of one of those coronal holes. It was tiny.
Okay. All right, I think we're live.
Yeah.
Oh, I have half-hour cadence, so I'm like, why can't I tell where anything's at? Because I'm looking at every half an hour.
All right, I'm going to close that. I'm going to go put the chat up on my phone so I can see who comes in.
Man, the sun's been active. Wow.
Yes. Uh-huh.
There's a lot of eruptions just
There is a
from
lot
looking
of
at the
eruption.
differential imaging.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure. We are definitely in surge mode, so it's
About
not,
time.
yeah.
it's been angry, and that so it's just adding to the confusion of all everything else that's going on.
I see minor ones in the front disk. I definitely see a central southern one, a 927, and she
Like
just
a
ate that fly. Gross.
what a central what like a you say you're looking at that coronal hole or eruptions
No,
or
I'm looking at dimmings
okay,
just for
didn't
the
it?
sake of
Okay.
it. So I'm looking at a 211 running differentials, and there's a what looks like to be enough to be an eruption with some post-eruption arcades.
Okay.
Like again, 927. So that would affect something more, what, 920, 930. I can't really tell if there's any component that there's no blast wave, it's just dimming. So it looks fairly weak. What does Lasco say at 927?
I'm gonna put in the chat. I'm like, what? It's funny. I was like, I could just talk. I'm like,
Yes.
so anybody who's in the chat right now, if you want to put out your theories as to what is causing the high-speed stream right now, we're open to suggestions because it seems like nobody knows.
Three.
So feel free to put in the chat where you think it's coming from. Because it's what was that like 700 kilometers a second?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very Corona holy, but yet there's
Oh,
no Corona
definitely.
hole that to be accounted for to make up for this. So we're leaving this up to the experts to figure it out. Hopefully, I mean that's possible. Oh wait. Marco says Corona hole 83, 84.
I think it's too early. I'd love for
Yeah,
them to
that's the
be
problem.
these, but
So
that's
it's no, it's not anything. Well, let's see, depending on the labels for that. Here, do you mind if I share?
Yeah, sure.
go for it.
All right, since I have at least Zoom Helio viewer open, let's get it out of differential. So my theory is it's this kernel hole.
Okay. Which do we have what day is that? Because I
This
can
is the 24th, so it would be pretty dang early, and it would have been more geo-effective about here, the 27th, and then we would start seeing it on the 28th or so.
that kind
Today's
of
the
track yeah, that tracks more for the first
Yep.
issue.
But I there is nothing outside of a few dimmings from this region down here every now and then since that time period. I don't see any kernel holes or anything with open field lines at all. Can I do PFSSs? Do we have that anymore?
Yay.
Because these have been out for a while.
Maybe not.
No, I guess not. Man, I miss those.
What the why is that and why is it no longer there?
Honestly, I do not know.
Hmm.
It just stopped loading available data. Let's
Okay.
see.
Yeah, I did go on Twitter and I tagged Tamitha and Vincent too. I was like, what are your thoughts?
Let's see. Yeah, since July 24th.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of fun to look
But
at.
current looks, yeah, these none of these kernel holes are anywhere near geo-effective yet.
So
Had
weird.
at least a couple days.
Hmm.
It will be coming. Just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll get it. But I don't
So more.
see any opening field lines. Like there's definitely something up here in the northern hemisphere that's going on. I mean, the sun's just active. It's blowing pieces everywhere. Check out that prominence liftoff.
Yeah, it definitely has been active, that's for sure.
There's a lot of crap going on.
So let's see. Yeah, so Marco posted, let's see, this was further enhanced by a CIR region and the arrival of fast wind, most likely associated with CH coronal hole 83 or 84, although the source remains uncertain.
Uh-huh.
And that was, I, I'm so bad at like reading these acronyms together. Most,
No, the Met,
so-
Met Office pretty much said the same thing, that
yeah,
this is the source is uncertain, so
it's weird. It's a weird one.
yeah.
I don't see any, other than even just eruptions. That's the only CME that has any noteworthy anything, and it's of course southwest.
Yeah. But
Everything else is very, very faint.
and that's the thing is we have it in the slide deck, the really faint ones, because I know Marco also posted about the faint ones. And it looks like probably got them. So like I think in one of the chats I was talking about because people were like surprised by this, and it's like, well, if you get the faint, slow CMEs, but they're very geo-effective with their magnetic field, um, they can outperform these big ones that are the wrong configuration.
Mhm,
So
definitely.
anyway, I guess we have enough people to now that we chit-chatted a bit, so we'll do the official, unofficial introduction. So thanks for coming in and joining us, everybody. We had to wait for Christian. He got stuck at work. That happens, that whole life thing that we all have to deal with. I mean, I'm at work. I'm in Dallas for the foreseeable future against, it's what it is what it is. So I've been down here for 5 days and I've had great Aurora for 3 up north. Yay! So anyway, virtual chasing it is as we're dealing with work things. But this past week has been really interesting in terms of what has transpired. So we wanted to kind of go over some of that, and that's the gist of what we're gonna do today. So I'll hand it over. Tiny's really good at sharing the stuff, so I'll hand it over to you
Oh,
this.
I'm down to one screen today, so I'm gonna try to do my best to share this. Hold on for a
Great.
sec. This may be some interesting manipulations. Sharing. Can I? Slideshow. Oh yeah, no, I can't. Hold on.
Hey, it's all good. It's all
And
good. Why do we
okay,
do this?
this is all one screen. All right,
Hey, there we go.
let's share this and let's go to the first slide.
I like that. Surprise, it's a two.
Hey, finally.
All right. Yes, we did see some G3 storming out of this. And hi, Steve. Thanks for joining. I love that we have I just want to put it out there. You guys are the greatest for following along with because as you can see with the three of us working different jobs and being wherever, it's hard to nail down like, hey, we'll do this every day at Sunday at 8 p.m. And I wish I could, but so you guys are awesome. So thanks for joining. So anyway, that was my rant. Onward.
All right. Well, quick update with really bad news. SDO is still down. It is available through other sites, but the main
Yes.
site is can do it. And finally, I think most of the apps have finally switched to Suvi because that was confusing some people,
Mhm.
but that's where we at. So who knows when it's going to be fixed, and it's going to take some time, obviously. But let's go to this mess that we had on September 28th through 29th UTC time. Um, Christian, do you want to take this one? If you want me to share the real-time solar wind data, we can do that too.
Yeah, let's go back to the full view because I'm still also catching up myself. So this is a learning curve for me.
It's all good.
All right.
But it looks like, so the 28th through the 29th. So that was our weird yeah, because then we had that CME core there.
Mhm.
Let's see. Here, I'll do this. Since I've got it up ready. I'll do whoop, all of this.
Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in.
Cool. Yeah, definitely a CME core, at least from the looks of it. We were all kind of thinking about that as well, since it looked like some smooth rotation. Fairly large radial component, though, a -1, which usually means either side glance of a CME, very, very side glance of, or a mix in with a kernel hole at some point. Could be at this point all three, let's be honest. But definitely some sort of action where we had primarily a southern BZ field, it looks like, and then a transition from western to eastern, so a WSE type flux rope here. And I believe is that when we had the major one a couple nights ago? I'm still kind of foggy on when that Aurora
Yeah,
started.
so there was some good showing that came out of that, but what happened last night was a bit better.
Fair,
That's
which
what,
that makes
yep,
sense because the larger negative BZ numbers.
yes.
And we definitely had, wow, BT up to the 20s
Yes,
almost.
it was quite and then almost all of that the
And then
IMF
we had big
was
negative to
in the southern
positive
field.
jumps too.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
sure
it
we had
definitely
a couple
created
different
some good
consistent
stuff.
substorms.
Yep, so there was some nice showing from for North America, but because it was fairly steady, so if you look at the 28th through 29th, it was fairly steady. So it
Mhm.
didn't get to a pretty decent substorm until close to sunrise, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then we had a nice drop there. So that would have been the night of the 29th, and then consistently bouncing back and forth through there. Said through sunrise. So what, 4 a.m. ish? So around here for data.
Yeah, it was pretty much full night. A lot of Aurora the first night. Oh, where did?
Oh,
Okay.
that's what 25 minutes looks like when you accidentally click.
That's kind of hard to read.
A little bit, a little bit. There we
So
go.
lots of glow for North America for that flux rope, and then a substorm close to morning, and then I think Southern Hemisphere and Europe got a nice show out of it.
Mhm.
And by the time it was our nightfall, we hit a really strange bump that was essentially a solar sector boundary crossing, so you can see it pretty clearly.
Yeah, right there. Nice
No,
division.
there was a different one.
Let's see.
Or it looked, at least
I mean,
looked,
there's a pretty specific drop at the 29th
yeah, no,
from
there was some,
negative to positive
yep,
territory.
right that area. So hold on. Yep, go back up a little bit. There we go. So from negative to positive, what am I thinking? I need my own solar wind data.
Yeah, that's it. I can here.
Yeah,
I'm good with mine.
bring it up.
Hold on. There we go. I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
Margaret's saying Adrian spotted the CME when it happened and ran it past Tamitha. Because I do remember her saying something about it because it was like one of those things. It's like
It was definitely
people
that.
kind of knew, you know, some people spotted it and then just kind of like, you know, they were faint.
Yep.
So it's like, what is it going to do? You know, and it's
Oh, I
more,
can take a look. We can
yeah.
go here.
So,
So, there we go. So this is the first night, and the CME probably starts around here with a fairly nice drop. But whether or not it is also mixed in with a high-speed solar stream, I don't think anybody can say for sure at this
mhm.
point. It may be mixed because you see density dropping during that time for both. You could see it with the CME core, you could see it with high speed stream. What you really care about is what BZ is doing. And this looks like a strange transition. So going from positive, so northern field, into negative with southern field, and then it's almost returning back to the northern field at the end. But overall, because you're looking at mostly southern field, this is the axial field. And the leading and trailing So this is west to east. So you end up with west, south, east
Mhm.
core. So that's pretty straightforward, but that can definitely throw some people off. And for things that run on automatic detection, for example, that could read it as a very different CME
Yeah, I can see
pattern.
that.
So it really doesn't matter. What matters is where the magnetic field is going, which direction, because that's going to determine whether or not you're going to see aurora or not going to see aurora. So that was fairly straightforward. EPAL was actually useful in this case because you could use it to tell the boundaries, and it very sharply dropped off in terms of low energy particles, and that's
Mhm.
pretty typical for the CME core. So that was kind of nice. Thank you, EPAL, for confirming. One of few instances where it is helpful for the CME.
Yeah.
For high-speed stream, you could see plenty of those spikes, and they just essentially disappeared during that time. So
Mhm.
this is likely coming from the magnetosphere, and then they just go away. So pretty typical. Um, this is where things get messy because this is another sector boundary crossing right here. So it's going from away or positive into negative. Or did I get the signs confused again?
Mm, I'm trying to
No, you're
read it.
right.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. But then we start to see, and this may be a very, very small CME over here, potentially, because, it's sector boundary crossing. You sometimes see it run into those little bumps that almost want to be a CME, but not completely. They're way too short. But that kind of kicked off the night for
Yeah.
North America because it quickly transitioned again into southern field. So BZ was sitting, it was playing around. No, ignore that because I'm at work. Um, so it was kind of playing with, and I think it's okay. Somebody share this thing because
Yes.
it's about to open.
Yes, it's yeah. Here,
It's about to open medical charts.
let me see. I'll try to share it.
Yay! There we go.
My screen, let me go to the drive. Gosh dang it. Oh, let me stop sharing and go to the drive first and then come back. How's that? I thought I had it up. I thought I had it like right there and I lied. I didn't. So,
I might be able to share it. I think my computer is behaving
okay.
finally. If not, I'll just stop
I
sharing.
have I have it up now
So
too. So,
this definitely looks like some sort of flux rope or well, magnetic cloud, let's put it this way, with
mhm.
mostly southern field, but that was consistent for quite some time. And that was most of the North American night. So we had literally show from dusk until dawn. And then,
Mhm.
well, then fun stopped. And this looks more like SIR, so stream interacting region, with a nice ramp up in speed and nice ramp up in temperature, decline in density, not quite to the typical high-speed stream densities, but we're seeing
You got BT
BT
drop
dropping
off, the radial
very,
field
very rapidly
increase.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty consistent with it to me.
Yeah. Where it's
So
coming from,
I legitimately can't find a single sign of it.
it's bizarre. I'd be curious. I mean, it's one of those things where we might not ever really know, but
I
we
think
can
that's
guess.
one of
Yeah.
the situations, but it's for the kernel holes that are facing us right now. It's a little bit too early, so I can't exactly buy that this is the source, but we'll know in a few days. So we do need to give it a little bit more time, and um, we will know whether or not that's the arriving high-speed stream or it was a kernel hole that's sort of lurking underneath the kernel loops. So stealth kernel hole.
Yeah, is that a thing? Have we like
I don't know if that's a thing.
I mean, really, you just need an area of open field to run by us, but those are usually pretty obvious
Yeah,
from
usually
coronal
you can see
imagery.
them.
So,
Yep.
Weird. Anyway,
Yeah. And of
yeah,
course,
this brings us to the geomagnetic fun out of it.
yes, so definitely North America, but again, it didn't start, it didn't go into really decent storming until later on the 29th. It was sort of just sitting there doing not a whole lot, but then it quickly ramped up and got into some nice substorming. I think that was Europe. And finally, when it was our term, it started to look more like a sawtooth event because of that fairly
Yeah.
steady negative BZ that was lasting for hours. So we saw substorms. I think there was at least two big ones. Well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm staring at them. Two big ones, about 3 hours apart, and all you had to do is just stare at it and wait for it to break.
Yeah, because I was watching the webcam forever, and it was funny because it was just like the sawtooth, because you saw the band, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was just kind of sitting there and sitting there, and then all of a sudden it just exploded.
Mhm. But it did some interesting stuff because, again, that
Yeah.
was very impressive driving.
Hmm.
The BZ was in the fairly low negatives for that BT. So it did some damage to the magnetosphere, but I mean, this is likely the source, at least for the first one or one of the two.
Yeah, yeah.
Know which one. So the source was likely in somewhere in high corona or close to coronal holes. Um, Sometimes it's harder to see those dimmings because the high corona in particular, they tend to be fairly subtle. They don't leave the typical structures behind, and they sort of leave at their leisure with very slow speed, and they arrive without an announcement. They arrive really without a shock, without anything in EPAM. And we just got lucky that they had, or unlucky, depending on who you are and depending on whether or not you work with industry that has to mitigate for this. But
Yes.
we ended up with a G3 out of it on the second night. We did see some interesting structures. So proton aurora was very abundant, but we saw auroral beads. They're kind of evenly spaced lights. This is the live webcam from Ely, Minnesota, so northern Minnesota, and they're evenly spaced. They can appear as literally more of the beads, kind of bright spots, and can have rays coming out of them. They typically propagate, I think, eastward.
Yeah.
And they may or may not explode into a substorm. So that's typically pre-onset feature. So when you see that, there's enough instability in the magnetotail and it's coming close to breaking down, but it may not. So it's called pseudo breakup, and it really is heartbreaking to see those beads appear
And then,
and then just dissipate. And then
if
you
I
have to
remember
wait
correctly,
again.
though, this is the one that exploded.
Yeah, this is the one that exploded eventually. It's like, but yeah, sometimes you wait for them and you want for things to go, but no, it could be a no-go. And this was a strange one because it really appeared very, very quickly. When you look at the webcam, because again, it's doing time lapse and it's more of the 45-second exposure, so it looks like it appeared out of nowhere, but that's proton aurora right there.
Hmm.
And we saw plenty of those. Again, very low BZ. It's gonna drive some nice proton forms. And this one, I think, turned into what looked like Ragda, but probably was SAR arc. Again, it's hard to know from sky cams and from some of the photos. I really couldn't tell what exactly we're looking at because it was very close and it was pretty disturbed. Um,
Oh
Nice
yeah.
view. Satellites is usually have the best view from space. And for both of the photos, um, this you could see it more clearly. Those are omega bands. They're typically seen in the post-midnight sector. So when we're moving closer to the dawn section in the auroral oval, and yeah, again, this is pretty, it's at night, but it's after North American midnight, but you see those beautiful structures. And if you're looking at the aurora from the more of the side view, sometimes you see that it appears pretty thick. It's almost like solid color, particularly when you're taking a photo of it because of the exposure time. You just
Mhm.
stack all those photons that are coming from this slab of aurora that really is lasting for miles and miles and miles. So yes, it could be, it's transparent, but it could appear almost fairly solid, depending what you're looking at. But it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I do like these satellite images because it's like it's neat to see it from that vantage point.
Yeah. And those are auroral beads in black and white, which is
Yeah,
also a lot of fun.
that camera always gets me because like sometimes it's in color and then sometimes it's not. Like it's weird. It just seems to flip.
Yeah, it's northern Michigan, almost Canada.
Yeah,
And
almost Canada.
they do switch most of the webcams to black and white view with a few that are in color, and I have no idea how they determine when it's going to happen and which camera gets the color. But usually, northern facing cameras do have color, so it's useful because you can tell what Aurora is up to. And
Mm,
you can look at it and say, yep, this is growth, so I do have time to get to location. It hasn't really substormed yet. So this is useful. But watching for it and waiting to go outside, unless you're really there, and you should be watching it anyway, but watching for it to start the show and then going somewhere, you're going to miss the best part. And you're
yeah.
going to miss some of the strange auroral forms that appear with the growth phase and potentially with more of the recovery phase because people have seen, again, flaming aurora was seen last night as well. And it's really a strange form where you see the arc and it may be pulsating, but also you start to see waves that are going upwards. There's no clear explanation why that happens. There's some theories on it, but it happens very fast and it's impossible to catch with a time lapse because again, it's very fast, so you're just gonna catch the blur.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
saw it. I saw it in the webcam because the webcam's
yeah,
live. It
yeah,
was pretty
yeah,
cool. I
yeah,
wanted to see.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
exactly.
that's pretty neat.
But that's the fun of it. It's cool to capture it on camera, and it's actually cool to see it. You see more details with Aurora that's really bright. Um, this this is the second G3 storm that was not forecasted.
Correct?
The first one was easy miss because it might have been just luck that BZ aligned that way. This one, I think the CME may have been missed altogether, and that was not anticipated to be that impactful. So again, forecasting is challenging. Some storms may be missed, and some storms that are forecasted may not arrive at all. It's important to chase the live data, meaning solar wind data, and not the forecast. And again, always, always, always look at the entire sky because there might be some auroral forms or subarauroral forms that are behind you or above you. So
Correct. That's our, and yeah, I think that's our take or end of our presentation anyway.
that's the take home. Not a whole lot of it.
I like how I can't talk right. It's only been 5 days in the sun. And I'm these northerners don't do too well in the blazing sun of the South. I'm just gonna put it out there. But, we're here. We're here. We did a thing. So let's see. I think we answered the questions in the chat. There wasn't really many questions. It was more just comments, which I like
Yeah,
comments too. So there was a
We-
SAR in Tasmania and Europe, which is cool.
Yep.
We'll see. So as far as like, yeah, the current stuff, I mean, there's still activity going on now. It's probably
Yeah,
gonna
for
do
sure.
out of this up and down type of momentum probably all night. And so if you're in a northern location, it's clear. Could be fun to chase some substorms again. The IMF has dropped off from yesterday, but it's still below like 9, which in the northern regions is plenty to drive things.
Yeah, and it's behaving more like fast solar wind, so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
really starting to oscillate in kind
Mm.
of unpredictable manner. So we're talking about chasing chasing substorms, really.
Yeah, that's what it's like, what's going on tonight? Stuff.
Yeah,
Things.
pretty much. Yeah.
More. There's more.
There is more for northern, mostly for northern locations. Or
Yes.
yeah, it's just we've lost a lot of power and it's hard to sustain this level of activity for a long period of time when we've got nothing feeding it.
Yeah. But yeah, this if you want to chase some substorms around. Be
Yeah,
something to
it,
do.
the nights are still fairly warm, so
Mhm.
or dress warmly if it's cold and head out and it's
Enjoy
fun.
the fall
Moon is,
colors.
moon is getting brighter.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, we are heading into the full moon, which is on October 6th. So it's coming up.
Yeah,
Yep. And because I was gonna try to do something with the full moon while down here. That's the only reason I know that date off the top of my head right now.
I think one of the most important things in real time when you are trying to figure out what is going on, the most important question to ask is where is BZ heading?
Mhm.
To some degree, it can be predicted, but you can't exactly plan it for several hours out, even if it is a CME, because CMEs sometimes do not expand evenly as they travel. So some parts of it may be more compressed and that transition from negative to positive. If it is more of the kind of bipolar core, switching from southern to northern field, that may happen quicker than you expect. So do not expect perfect transition. Do not expect that the data will cooperate because it may not. But look at the data. Don't try to go deep into analytics in the middle of Aurora Chase. It's
Yeah,
going to take
that's
way
hard.
too long and it's not practical. It's fun to do a review afterwards. And sometimes even after review, there are still many, 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 many questions when it's compound event in particular. So high speed stream combined with CME, CMEs combining with CMEs. This is going to be tight, very, very difficult to decipher. And truth is, in real time with Aurora chasing, it's not that important.
Hmm. But we all know we like answers and we like to try to figure it out. But and I know I was kind of like that at first too. It's like I want to be able to like just know what's going on, but then it's a constant thing. Patience is a good thing to have. Because it'll eventually unveil itself with enough time. Well, typically there are some instances where it just won't, but and even the best people in reading solar wind data can have a difficult time discerning what is what. Um, but
And may disagree. So you may
yeah.
get if you ask three space weather professionals what exactly happened for the in the last couple of nights, you may get up to 4 or 5 different answers.
Mhm.
That's pretty normal. And it's normal to have a hypothesis rather than a solid conclusion. This could have happened or this could have happened because it's really hard to get a confirmation, particularly with limited amount of data that we work with.
Right.
So
So we don't have the luxury like the National Weather Service does and with all their data, but at one point they didn't have it either. So so it's all good.
yep.
But you got any yeah, I think that's all we have. for the day. I mean, I'm reading the chat and I don't see anything else. So I don't know what a pirate bug is, but that sounds terrible. That's what Steve's
Thinking
like,
the same.
"What's with pirate bugs?" And I'm like, that sounds like a horrible thing. And I'm sorry for that. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys for coming along and joining us on this. What day is it? Tuesday? Is it Tuesday?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, Tuesday evening
It's
or
been a long week already.
or Wednesday for our friends on the other side of the world. We always appreciate you guys being here. So I'm sure we'll do another one when we get a chance because the way this is going, we'll have more to decipher. Just keeps going. And then we had those active regions show up, and then I haven't heard too much from them. Like well, I guess it's kind of usual. It's like they announce themselves on the East Limb, and then they just kind of quiet their way across the front.
Sneak across the front so that they can get active
Yeah,
again on the
sneak
west limb.
across the front.
We're gonna see more of those really complex events where it
Yeah,
is several features thrown into one where you
you think so,
often
yeah.
don't get a definitive answer for quite some time.
Yeah, and especially this time, this part of the cycle, because we have these coronal holes and we have these filaments and we have, these active regions by the coronal hole. So you just get all these things mixed together. So it's makes it fun.
Mhm.
So that's what we'll leave on our note today. We're glad to have Christian here today.
Yay!
So say hi and wave, Christian, please.
Hi.
We miss his face on here. So we wanted to wait for him. So thanks you guys for hanging out. But I'll leave you all there. We'll reconvene next week with something. So in the meantime, have a great evening. And if you're going out hunting or we're out hunting, have fun.